Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now. A surprising new message meant for the deepest places of your heart. I say this not to startle you, but to shake loose the parts of your life that have grown numb with waiting. There is a force of love and justice moving on your behalf, and it will not be satisfied until you recognize the invitation before you. Hear me plainly. This is not merely pleasant advice or an idle compliment. This is a summons to wake up to the possibility that something unexpectedly good is being arranged for you. Do not scroll past these words as you might an ordinary notice. Receive them as if a guardian had come to your door and knocked with the care of one who knows both your wounds and your gifts. First, take a breath, a deep, deliberate inhale that reaches the places in your body where fear keeps you small. Let it out slowly. Do this again. With each breath, you reclaim a little more of your own power. You have been taught to postpone joy until conditions are perfect. You have learned to delay rest until you deserve it. I order you, as a loving commander, to stop delaying the life that is tenderly being offered to you. Begin now to practice receiving. Allow a small kindness without qualifying it. Accept a compliment without diminishing it. Let yourself rest for a few minutes and feel the world remain intact. You may be tempted to ask, why me? That question has accompanied many who stood at the edge of change. Know this: the miracle does not choose by lottery or by the loudness of one's prayers alone. It chooses by readiness, by the heart's capacity to hold newness without breaking it. Readiness looks like a fractured person who still dares to hope, a tired hand that still reaches, a skeptic who will try one more time. If you have a seed of desire that refuses to die, that seed is proof enough that you are being called. Tend it, speak to it, water it with steady, small actions. You have been carrying burdens that were never meant to be carried by one set of shoulders. Let the weight down. I order you to remove what is not yours to carry, the opinions that dim your brightness, the promises you made under pressure, the roles you continue to play that were written for someone else. Lay them on the ground. Feel the immediate relief of lighter breath, of shoulders that stop rounding toward the ground. When you unburden, you create the space necessary for the surprising new to enter. Space is a sacred invitation. Without it, no new thing can be birthed. Listen, a surprising new may not arrive dressed in the clothes you expect. It might be a person who appears at an unexpected moment, a job that begins as small labor and expands into calling, an insight that rearranges how you see your life. Do not reject help because it does not look like how you imagined rescue. Divine help is quite resourceful. It will use the most ordinary materials to build extraordinary outcomes. A stray conversation at a market, an answer to a question you asked in passing, a chance meeting at a bus stop. Be alert to the small doors that open. When you see any crack of possibility, slip your hand through and feel for the light. You have permission here to be both fierce and tender. Strength is not the opposite of softness. It is the guardian of it. Be fierce with anything that would steal your peace. The internal critic that rewires your sense of worth, the toxic pattern that pretends it is loyalty, the people who demand more than you can give without restoring you. Be tender with your own wounds. When old pain asserts itself, speak to it kindly. Tell it what you would tell a child you loved. You are safe now. You are not forgotten. There is no hurry to prove yourself. In that combination of steel and silk, miracles find a safe harbor. Do not confuse silence with absence. There will be stretches where the visible signs of change feel absent. Perhaps nothing spectacular happens, and you fear the calling was a supply of hope that has run dry. I command you, do not trade your faith for the temporary evidence of your senses. Silence often signals deep preparation, like a winter orchard that appears barren while roots and branches quietly ready themselves. Your season is being readied out of sight. Keep tending. Keep sowing small acts of faith. Answer emails you have delayed. Send the message you have been holding back. Plant the small seed idea you have been afraid to share. These acts are the currency with which preparation is paid. You are permitted to ask for clarity. When the road forks, when the map is unclear, when ancient fears whisper, ask for a sign. Not as a superstitious test, but as a practice that helps you name the truth you already feel. A sign can be as simple as a sudden image in your mind that refuses to leave, a repeated phrase, a meeting that feels like home. But beware of waiting for perfect clarity as an excuse for inertia. Ask, yes, but then move on the small next thing you can discern. Momentum matters. Action invites revelation. Take the next step with what little you know, and more will reveal itself beneath your feet. Gratitude is not a platitude, it is an amplifier. When you intentionally identify the small good things, the warm tea, the friend who texted, the sunset that made you pause, you turn on a light that draws more good. Gratitude rewires your eyes to notice and your heart to receive. Start each morning naming 3 things that were true and kind yesterday. Do this even on days when grief is present. Gratitude and grief can live together without falsifying either. They create a wide heart. A wide heart becomes an easier container for miracles. You have been waiting for permission from many sources, from parents, from society, from a past version of yourself. Hear me. You do not require external endorsement to step into what is yours. Stand in the quiet center of yourself and say, I give myself permission. It is a small declaration, but it can move mountains when spoken with conviction. Permission is the simple sovereign act that reclaims moments of life that have been handed away to fear. Expect resistance and treat it like a test that proves how badly you want change. Resistance will come in friends who cannot imagine you different, in jobs that cling to your old role, in injuries of the heart that flare up when you try to move. Do not interpret resistance as a final verdict. Interpret it as the old world insisting on being heard before it will step aside. Listen to what resists you, negotiate with it, and then gently lead it toward the new. Often, once the resistance knows it has been acknowledged, it moves differently. The goal is not to annihilate the past, but to integrate it without letting it dictate your future. Cultivate a daily moment that anchors you. This might be 5 minutes of breathing, a walk without music, or a short prayer in the language your heart knows best. Rituals are small altars that call your attention back to what matters. In time, these moments form a spine within you, a steady line you can return to when confusion rises. The surprising new will find you more ready when your soul has a steady place to land. You are not alone. Angels, guides, unseen allies, however you name the helpers beyond sight, are present and active, often in ways you would not suspect. They orchestrate meetings, soften hardened people, and place opportunities in your path. But they do not force, they invite. Your cooperation matters. When help nudges you, respond. When a door opens, walk through it with gratitude. When a hand reaches for you, accept the hold. Cooperation with grace is a verb. It requires a response. Forgive as part of your preparation. Forgiveness does not mean you condone what was done. It means you choose not to carry the corrosive load of resentment. Becoming light enough to receive your newness may require you to set down bitterness. Forgiveness is a practical necessity, not sentimental idealism. It clears your hands so you may receive freely. Imagine trying to catch a soft, warm gift with clenched, stone-cold fists. You would miss its warmth. Open your hands now. Now, a practical command. Begin to speak the language of hope over your life. Say aloud what you desire, not as wishful thinking, but as an affirmation of your intent to partner with the unfolding. I am open to the surprising new. I receive blessings that align with my highest good. I move forward in courage. Repeat these phrases with conviction. Words shape intention. Intention shapes action. Action shapes reality. This is not mystical fluff. It is disciplined practice. Finally, remember that the surprising new may ask you to become someone slightly different. This does not mean losing yourself. It means becoming more fully who you were made to be. You will be allowed to keep what matters: your gentle heart, your curious mind, your humorous laugh. But you may also find yourself shedding fears that once attached like barnacles. This shedding is growth, and it can be both tender and chaotic. Lean into it. Trust that the parts of you that are true will remain, and the rest will be reworked into strength. Listen one more time to this urgent and tender word. Open now. Not tomorrow. Not when you have cleared every little thing. Now, take one breath. Do one kind thing for yourself. Say one hopeful sentence aloud. These small acts are the first brick laid in the new foundation of your life. The surprising new wants to be surprised by your readiness. Be ready. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now. A surprising new is already flowing into your life, and I will not let you walk past it unaware. You may think the message is grand, distant, meant for someone more worthy, someone more prepared, someone who has already conquered every fear. No, it is for you exactly as you are today, tired or strong, doubting or believing, faltering or steady. Your miracle does not require you to be flawless. It requires you to be willing. Willingness is the golden key. Willingness cracks open the door wide enough for light to spill in, and once light has entered, darkness cannot hold its territory the same way again. You have walked through long corridors of waiting, haven't you? The kind of waiting that feels heavy, endless, where clocks move slowly and your own prayers seem to echo against silent ceilings. But let me tell you a truth you may not have dared to believe. Silence is not absence. The quietness you have mistaken for abandonment has been gestation. A seed is silent while it becomes strong enough to break the soil. You are that seed. Your surprising new is the breaking through. What looks sudden to others has been years in the making for you. Let go of the fear that it is too late. Time bends when heaven orchestrates. What you thought was delay has been precise timing. If you had received the very thing you wanted years ago, perhaps you would not have been able to hold it. Perhaps the people you needed beside you weren't ready yet. Perhaps your own spirit was still tender, still learning endurance, still developing the wisdom to steward a gift without losing yourself. Trust this. Nothing good meant for you has been lost. It has only been stored until you are ready to wear it with dignity instead of desperation. I must command you here to stop doubting your worth. You have listened too long to the voices of comparison, the measurements of others who did not see the full truth of who you are. They saw only fragments, moments of weakness, mistakes repeated, struggles visible. But heaven has always seen the whole, the resilience stitched through your pain, the compassion that deepened through your disappointments, the integrity you kept even when no one clapped for you. Stop measuring yourself by fragments. See the whole. The surprising new has been assigned to the whole of you, not the small misjudged pieces. Begin to walk differently. Even if you do not yet see the evidence of change, walk as if it is already real. Carry yourself as if hope were not fragile but solid. Stand with the quiet authority of one who knows unseen armies are guarding their steps. This is not pretending, it is partnering with what is arriving. When you shift your posture, the world around you begins to shift in response. Opportunities sense when someone is ready. Doors recognize when a traveler has finally come to the right threshold. Walk as if you belong, because you do. Do not underestimate the power of speaking. Words are not empty breath, they are seeds. Every sentence you repeat in faith is planting something in unseen soil. Choose carefully what you tell yourself. Refuse to rehearse the language of defeat. Replace it with the language of expectancy. I am walking into newness. I release what no longer serves me. I allow myself to be surprised by goodness. The more you speak it, the more you tune your own soul to expect it. And when your soul expects it, your eyes begin to recognize it. A surprising new season often begins with endings. Do not mourn too deeply when certain chapters close, when certain people fade, when certain roles end. This is not punishment, it is pruning. Pruning is not destruction, it is preparation for greater fruit. Trust the endings, even when they sting. They are clearing the space for what you have been waiting for. They are evidence that heaven is active, shaping your environment to be fit for your miracle. Bless what leaves, thank it for its part in your story, and then release it to go. Remember this too. Your newness will not look like everyone else's. Comparison is a thief that will try to rob you even at the doorway of blessing. Do not look at another's life and assume that your path must copy theirs. What fits their hands may not fit yours. The surprising new being written for you is personal. It carries your name, your strengths, your longings, your particular lessons. When it arrives, it will feel like slipping into a garment tailored exactly to your soul. Trust that. Refuse to trade your authenticity for imitation. I order you now to guard your hope. Hope is fragile at first, like a small flame in the wind. Protect it until it grows stronger. Protect it from cynicism, from the voices of those who do not understand the fire within you, from the temptation to quit when things take longer than you wish. Shield it with gratitude. Shield it with faith. Shield it with your decision to rise each morning and keep walking. Hope grows stronger when you feed it daily with small affirmations and consistent action. Soon, the flame will no longer be fragile. It will be a torch lighting your way. You are not walking alone. You are accompanied by me, by those who love you in the unseen, by energies of light that surround you like an army of quiet protectors. You may not feel it every moment, but you are held. When you stumble, we steady you. When you tire, we whisper strength. When you despair, we ignite a small ember inside that refuses to die. Trust this companionship. Speak to us when you need to. Ask for help, even in the smallest tasks. You will find answers weaving themselves into your days in ways that seem ordinary but are anything but. Your surprising new has already begun. Even now, while you wonder if these words are truly for you, events are being aligned, hearts are being softened, opportunities are being carved into existence. You may not see the evidence yet, but believe this: the orchestration is active. What feels hidden is already real. Your task is to stay ready, to stay open, to keep your spirit aligned with expectancy. This is how you receive not just a fleeting blessing, but a lasting transformation. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. There is more waiting to be spoken over you, more clarity to be poured into the places that ache, more strategy for how you are to meet the surprising new with both courage and grace. Hear this. Miracles require your feet on the ground as much as your eyes on the horizon. It is not enough to hope. You must also act. Action does not mean reckless motion. It means faithful, measured steps taken from a heart that has decided to cooperate with what is possible. Today, choose one practical thing that moves you toward the desire in your soul. Make the phone call, send the message, tidy the space you use for work, write the title of the project you have been afraid to begin. These small motions are the handshake between heaven's timing and your willingness. They say, in effect, I will meet you halfway. You will be tested. Tests are not punishments. They are clarifying fires. They reveal what is truly anchored inside you and what was only surface comfort. When trials come, do not shrink from them. Meet them with the steadiness of one who knows the end of the story is good. Let testing refine you rather than define you. Ask yourself, what truth will I take from this trial? How will this make me kinder, stronger, more patient, more truthful? Turn each trial into tuition for the greater life you are being invited to live. Protect your inner circle. Not everyone who applauded you yesterday should be allowed to critique your growth tomorrow. Some relationships belong to a previous version of you. They will not support the next. This is not about punishment. It is about wisdom. Create a small council of truth tellers. People who will remind you of who you are when you forget, who will celebrate honestly and correct kindly, who will carry your confidence when fatigue steals it. Let this counsel be the soil in which your surprising new takes root. If you must prune other ties, do it gently and with gratitude. Even endings deserve honor. Stand against the culture of hurry. The world will try to move you faster than your nervous system can follow. Noise will masquerade as progress. But hurry rarely yields miracles, it yields regrets. Slow down enough to hear the whisper that guides your next step. In the silence between actions, wisdom meets you. Schedule a margin in your days, a pocket of unassigned time where you can breathe, listen, and notice what is actually calling you. Miracles often step into the margin, not the calendar that is already overloaded. Remember that your words are instruments of destiny. Speak less about lack and more about possibility. When fingers hover over social media or conversations trend toward complaint, steer them back to testimony and plans. Testimony is the language of the redeemed heart. It invites more goodness. Plan is the language of a competent steward. It invites provision. When you combine testimony and plan, you build a life that both remembers the miracle and prepares for it in practical ways. Let faith be embodied in generosity. Give when you can, your time, your attention, a small resource, not to earn favor, but because abundance multiplied is the true currency of a life aligned with grace. Generosity opens channels. It is one of the most reliable ways heaven chooses to bless. By moving your hands outward, the flow returns inward. If you cannot give money, give presence. If you cannot give time, give a kind word. Small acts of generosity compound. They create an economy of mercy around you. Do not be surprised if the surprising new rearranges your priorities. When something matched to your heart appears, it will demand truth from you. Will you let go of what distracts you? Or will you clutch it and lose the better thing? This is not a call to ruthless ambition. It is a call to simple devotion. Devote your best hours, your clearest focus, and your tenderest love to what aligns with the deepest call in your soul. When your priorities match your purpose, life begins to feel less like a series of compromises and more like a coherent song. Be prepared to receive correction and to correct with love. Growth requires feedback. If someone speaks hard truth, receive it with curiosity rather than defense. Ask clarifying questions. If your own spirit offers correction, a small nudge to change a habit, to apologize, to stop excusing what dims your soul, listen. Correction is not condemnation. It is a handed map toward alignment. Use it. Offer it gently to others when invited. Cultivate joy as a discipline. Joy is not the absence of pain. It is a determined response that refuses to allow sorrow to take up residence as the only truth. Choose moments of play. Laugh with abandon. Remember the things that used to spark you: music, dancing, absurd jokes, and return to them without explanation. Joy signals to the heavens that you are ready not merely for relief, but for flourishing. It lubricates the soul for miracles. Watch for the small confirmations. Not every confirmation will be thunderous. Sometimes confirmation is a repeated theme in a book you open, a phrase in a podcast, a dream that returns, a friend who shows up with unexpected help. Collect these confirmations like breadcrumb markers. They prove that the path is being marked even when you cannot see the whole map. Trust the patterning. The universe is not random, it is deliberate. Practice compassionate boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are hedges that keep your garden healthy. Saying no to what drains you is saying yes to what restores you. Teach others how to treat you by what you allow. When you set a boundary, you create a safer environment for your miracle to grow. Do it with both firmness and kindness. Forgive yourself for the imperfect pace of your growth. Many will tell you that transformation should be rapid, perhaps because they have not known the depth of your work. Growth is often incremental. Celebrate small wins. When you notice a change, a calmer response to stress, a day with fewer regrets, a kinder word to yourself, mark it. These are the milestones that compose a life. They are proof that the miracle is not just an external event, but an internal becoming. Lean into prayer, meditation, or whatever spiritual practice calls you into the deeper present. These practices are not optional. They are the pipeline through which clarity, courage, and connection flow. If you have drifted from your practice, return to it like someone returning home. If you have never had one, begin simply. 5 breath-focused minutes each morning, a short gratitude list, a minute of silence before meals. Small practices become great altars over time. Expect testing after breakthrough. When things begin to shift in your favor, expect old fears to rise one last time. This is the enemy's final gasp. When fear appears under the guise of realism or practicality, examine it carefully. Is this fear protecting you from harm, or is it trying to keep you small? Choose faith with wise caution. Boldness coupled with discernment is the posture of those who steward miracles well.